welcoming you to today's episode of The Conscious Evolved Man. For today, we're going to speak about what I see as the foundation of the evolved masculine, and that is integrity. In a world that I see lacks integrity, I feel and believe this is such an empowering, important principle for all of us to embody. To align our thoughts, our words, our actions, and values with our truth is what I see what the world needs. Because really, it is this integrity that connects us, that allows us to expand, to grow, and to really build the trust in keeping honest in our relationships and our families and friends. I appreciate how integrity anchors our identity by not being swayed by so many distractions and temptations around us. So this video, this journey is really about anchoring these principles to allow men and allow that deeper understanding and that deeper mastery of what we're here to do to evolve and to become the greatest versions of ourselves. And along this, we discuss the challenges. We talk about the difficulties, the experiences, but at the same time, the tools, the breath work, the meditation, the experiences that we can do to evolve into the greatest versions of who we are. And that is why I feel integrity is so important, because when you really look deep at it, it's about alignment. And that alignment gives us that power to flow in ease and grace. It requires courage. Doing the right thing when no one's looking is probably one of the greatest pieces of integrity, because sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to choose to meet areas that we struggle with. Working with men, there are moments where we have to be more honest with ourselves, to take greater levels of responsibility and accountability, to keep our promises. And most important, what I feel, is to live our true purpose, because that takes integrity. That integrity involves the authenticity, the accountability, and most important, to be honest and truthful. When you look deep within yourself, and I do this each morning, where is it within myself that I may not be fully honest or truthful? That part of my ego, that false aspect of me that may just be living in limitation. That may be an exercise or tool to wake up to see, where am I not being fully honest with myself? Or how can I be more integral to my wife, to my mother? How can I allow myself to ground what I see is that full alignment between my physical, my mental, my emotional, and spiritual body? These are the aspects that we discuss in detail and look at how it can evolve and expand. Because right now, I truly see, as this conscious, expansive energy is evolving in our world, it's moving through us. And it's through our integrity to stay true to ourselves, to stay strong, and to be radically honest, aligning our words and giving ourselves the permission to speak, to act what we feel and what we know that's within our heart. This is the journey of the conscious evolved man, to give the opportunity to be integral from a heart-centered, conscious way, so we can now come together as a unified force and to bring forth what I see as the greatest changes that are coming to this world. That is why I'm so excited in this 12-week journey to bring forth these powerful principles, as we started with awareness and communication, forgiveness, diving into areas of discipline, commitment, just pieces that may have not been fully developed as we've grown from being a child to a teenager to adult. So the more that we're able to embody these and to give the permission to really feel how true they are, that becomes our next level of expansion and growth. And for me, what integrity has taught me the most is to live in a whole, undivided, and consistent way. Growing up, I lived in a split life because I had a very spiritual family and there was an outward society that was very conservative, especially where I grew up in the countryside. Yet, the more I started to meet my real self, the more I tuned my morals and values and acted upon them, I could see my integrity rise so that now I can say yes and know that it's my higher self saying no to the areas that I don't have to be convinced to. I can create healthy boundaries around the areas that don't feel right. And I can use integrity as a daily practice in awareness, in seeing how I can recalibrate my energy and give myself what I feel is the greatest courage to move through life's greatest challenges. Integrity is what I see as a treasure of what so many can be connected through and by. This pillar allows us to stand of who we really are. And right now, it is required for many of us to really look at what our truth is, what we stand by, and to be as real and authentic. Because we know when one is around an integral person, there is an energy that brings forth the honesty, the accountability, and the truth that becomes our personal responsibility to live by. So for those that are interested to dive deeper into this 12-week journey of the conscious evolved man, please message below, because it is an empowering, awakening, evolving course, self-paced, self-guided, that gives the tools and gives the energy really to help men, to give them what I believe I always wanted when I grew up, so that I can live in a greater level of peace, joy, and happiness, and finding my purpose and really what I see, the tools that can be used in a daily process so that life just becomes a little easier. So once again, thank you all for joining on this short episode, as this is just a small taste of the full course of integrity of week 10 that I'm so passionate to share in teaching about the challenges and looking at how we can build integrity to a greater level, but most important, embodying it. Because when we can embody it, we live it in alignment to it. And that allows us to be the greatest version of ourselves. So once again, thank you for joining and wishing you a most beautiful, blessed day.